And we are back for week 9. Nick, week 9, we are more than halfway through the fantasy football season, which
Who would have
also
thought we would,
means we're also almost halfway through the football season.
who would have thought we would have made it this far?
What was it, week 4? Everything almost got shut down, but we're
Oh,
here and we're making it and we're surviving.
oh yeah. Even those Packers and the COVID.
Packers COVID, 49ers COVID. Why not? Let's make it a COVID week and go undefeated in our picks this week.
We'll see.
All right, so let's go ahead and get going this week. Any wise words of wisdom from the great wise words of Nick?
Wise words, wise words. Don't go based upon projections.
Don't go based upon projections. I'm just going to say check your lineups. All right, let's get into the matchups this week. We've got some pretty good matchups this week, and I'm excited about how this is going to look. So here we go. For some reason, Chad's team and Mr. Rogers' neighborhood came up. We have DJ and Chad, two guys, 3 and 5 each, looking to try to stay out of relegation. This looks like it could be a pretty good matchup this week.
Yeah. Let's take a look here. Starting with the quarterbacks. Mr. Rogers is playing tonight. I don't know what that's going to look like. It'll be pretty interesting. He's got Aaron Jones playing, but on one leg. And he got Tyler Irvin. But, against the banged-up Niners, we'll see what happens.
This might be one of those, if we're talking real football, a defensive matchup with not much scoring and the quarterbacks being the only ones scoring. I think I'll take DJ in this matchup just because of the running back situation. I think Lindsey and Devin Singletary have a few more touches than Gallman and Jamal Williams.
Yeah, I would say very few, but you never know what's going on in Denver. Devin Singletary and Zach Moss don't have a complete 50-50 split just yet.
No. So, and there's even some bench things. If he decides to throw in Aaron Jones last minute or even Leonard Fournette, this matchup could go either which way, but I'll take DJ in this matchup.
Yeah, I'll take DJ just based upon I think the overall potential is there. Devontae Parker's had a little bit of a resurgence recently, which is really good. Darius Slayton's really good. Steph Diggs can't have good weeks. Chase Claypool is probably
Rookie of the year.
to be the number one here soon. Things keep trending, but yeah, it's definitely a DJ week.
All right. We'll go to the next matchup here. We've got Brandon against myself, game-winning Hill Murray, who's somehow 5-3, and me, who's getting a big piece back this week, and Christian McCaffrey at 4-4.
It'll be interesting to see what goes on with your running back situation there. Julio is all by himself this week. No, Calvin Ridley hasn't been completely ruled out. He
Really
might still
hasn't
play.
been ruled out. This could be interesting. They're playing in Denver. Could be a snow game. I'm hoping for a snow game. I haven't even looked at the weather. But let's look at running backs. Rex Burkhead and Nyheim Hines. Hines had he's a one-hit wonder. He has these every single year. And Burkhead against the Jets, that could be a great move, or Damian Harris could be the guy in New England.
Truthfully, Brandon he's riding the Kyler Murray and the DK Metcalf thing right now.
Yep, and Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson has been very surprising.
Yep, but Christian McCaffrey's back. The Chubby Champ's back. Let's hope.
The only thing, you got a couple things running against you this week. You got the uncertainty with CeeDee Lamb and the Justin Jackson.
I've got uncertainty, and if Pittsburgh-Dallas gets postponed, I've got nothing. But I'm going to take myself. The spread's only 3 points. I think I can cover that spread because I think Christian McCaffrey is going to come back and have a huge day.
I'm not picking against you this week, that's for sure.
Hey, there we go. All right, and then we have Lamario Party and E.T. Phone Mahomes, Battle of the Miller Brothers. This, I believe, should be the matchup of the week. Not based on records, but it's Jeffrey Darren. It's a great week.
Yeah, Darren's got a little bit of momentum going behind him. The wind beneath his wings, as it were. You got Lamar playing against Indy. Oh, it's a little bit of a tough defense, but uh, I don't like the David Johnson running back situation. But Miles Gaskin looks like he's going to be out for some time. So, but I really like his lineup from top to bottom.
Yeah, I mean, he's got great Darren's got great matchups. He's got, I mean, even David Johnson against Jacksonville's defense. Jacksonville's defense doesn't scare anybody anymore. Noah Fant has become a budding star at tight end. But let's be real, Jeffrey still has Patrick Mahomes.
He's got Patrick Mahomes. If Chris Carson is healthy, he's and it looks like he picked up Dallas DJ. So
Yep, he
or
picked
DJ,
up
I'm
DJ
sorry,
Dallas.
Dallas. So he's got the plug if he needs it.
Yep, and he's
Which
got this guy sitting down on his bench, Zach Moss. Do you know anything about him?
Zach Moss is heartburn on your lineup because you need him, and then he does nothing.
Yep, but Seattle's run defense isn't good. I'm going to pick Jeffrey, but I won't be surprised if Darren pulls this one out.
Give Michael Thomas another day of practice. If he comes into practice tomorrow, and even a walkthrough on Saturday, he will be the difference maker for Darren this week.
He will be. He will be. I think this week it could be a great week. I mean, even though these records aren't great, there's some great stories behind these matchups.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Darren, though, so we'll see what happens.
All right, so we're split. Here's the matchup. We have Adam at 2-6 with I wear COVID helmet against Christy. Rookie to the bigs at 4-4. She's sitting pretty. Not just I'm not contractually obliged to say that because she's my wife, but she's sitting pretty in the standings too at 4-4. And if she wins this week, looking like she's going to be in the playoffs.
She should be in the playoffs. She's got enough things going there. Jonathan Taylor thing last week seemingly was a fluke.
Yeah, that threw me off, but she's got CEH, and Le'Veon Bell doesn't seem to be taking anything from CEH. And she's got this guy named J.K. Dobbins on the bench, and he had over 100 yards against Pittsburgh's really good run defense.
Yeah, and there's really nothing to. I saw Adam made a lot of moves this week because he's got people on bye.
Adam's got on the bye, but he's also in desperation mode. I mean, when you lose Saquon Barkley and Dak Prescott, 2 out of your 3 keepers, it's hard to keep that team together.
Yeah, this is a Christie's week to lose.
Yeah, I mean, I think Christie's going to win this, and I think it's going to be an easy win for her.
Oh yeah.
Our next matchup, we have Matt at 6-2 and Daniel at 4-4. Now, I have personal rooting interest in this. I mean, I hold the tiebreaker over Daniel, but I would love to see Daniel drop to 4-5 and me move on to 5-4. But we'll look at this matchup. Matt has gotten lucky with his running backs this year. Remember, he went four wide receivers in the first 4 rounds of the draft this year, and it has paid off for him. He got lucky.
He's been very, very lucky, especially right now. Like for me personally, I wouldn't be running out Jermichael Hasty, not at all. I don't understand that running back situation. I get it. Christian McCaffrey's coming back this week, but Mike Davis or Latavius Murray are still the better options to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting move, but maybe he sees how bad Green Bay's run defense is. Sorry, Nick. And hopefully Hasty gets a touchdown. That's really what he needs. And DeAndre Swift has, I don't know if he's truly the number 1 back or if he's just kind of sitting there and Matt Patricia is going with a hot hand. But we see here, the guy that I think is going to make this matchup is Chase Edmonds against Miami.
Miami looks like a stout little defense, though.
Miami's a stout defense, but Chase Edmonds has this thing for finding the end zone.
He does. He's a powerful guy.
Yep.
So, right now, Daniel's got to make some moves.
Daniel's got to make some moves on the wide receiver. I mean, he doesn't have a second wide receiver. Emmanuel Sanders, he's not active yet. It looks like he'll be active, but he's going to become the number 3 possibly behind Traquan Smith and Michael Thomas. Odell Beckham's out. Josh Reynolds is on a bye. Tyler Boyd's on a bye. Daniel, set your lineup. I knew I would have to say it at least once tonight.
Odell, I believe he's got IR spots. Odell needs to go down to your IR.
Yep. But this week, I'll take Matt with this win because of the Chase Edmonds week, and Nuke is going to come out and do something amazing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the power. I mean, there's not enough. I don't think there's enough on the waiver wire for Daniel to pick up to win. But he needs to get some solid points in there because points are going to dictate you from the top or bottom.
Yep. I mean, and also he's got Kareem Hunt on a bye. Daniel, set your lineup.
Absolutely.
All right. And the matchup that's near and dear to your heart, we've got Shane against you. Nick, it might be time to change your name because it seems like when you changed your name to Chimera Virus, the second wave hit Cortland County. Maybe if you change that, we'll see a reduction in cases.
I toyed with a name change this week, but that probably won't happen.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear us talk politics. This is fantasy football, not politics football or fantasy politics. We got Shane here against you. Shane, I feel bad for Shane. Shane has made some moves. I don't know if they're going to pay off. Chris Godwin looks like he's going to play this week, but he might have lost a bell cow in Zeke, and I'm glad for that. I'll take that. But let's look at this. He's got Travis Kelce, Adam Thielen, and Chris Godwin.
Godwin's back. I mean, a healthy Godwin's is gonna get you some. He can get you to almost 20 points alone just by himself.
Right, and I mean with Antonio Brown there, it might take some coverage from Chris Godwin, but I can't argue with your team. Devontae Adams, Tyler Lockett. You're going the double tight end set this week with Robert Tonyan and Darren Waller, and you got Justin Herbert.
You got Justin Herbert. I mean, Stafford's on the COVID list. It could be for just 1 week. It could be 2. But I needed somebody, so that's what Drew Lock's floating around down there. But I figured this is your best bet going out there this week, throwing it out there.
Oh, absolutely.
And Tonyan has the potential, but if I don't trust Judy or Ruggs.
Yep. And you've got James Conner against the worst run defense, maybe in the history of the NFL.
It's bad. I mean, it's worse than when he was with Green Bay.
And James Conner, he could have a career week this week. I'll take you, Shane. I hope you can turn this around come playoff time so that way you don't get relegated. Best of luck to you. All right, and then we have Craig and Dave. Dave 8-0. I mean, Dave took me out to the woodshed last week and gave me a beating. I tried to stay in as much as I could, but I couldn't stay with him. This could be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, I mean the quarterback position. He's got. Yes, I get they're playing the Jets. I really do. I don't trust Cam Newton. I think Russell is the hands down best there. I mean, running back situation again. In that situation, Dave's got the edge. It's going to come down more than likely to that wide receiver core because the tight ends are, I mean, yeah, Ebron's got the edge here, but it's kind of a wash to me.
Yep, it comes down to this. This is where I'm seeing who gets the throws from Ryan Tannehill, Corey Davis, or A.J. Brown. Maybe it'll be a Jonnu Smith week.
Corey Davis had him last week, but it could be absolutely right. It could be a Jonnu Smith. It seems to be a rotating thing because Adam Humphries, I'm not sure if he's back from concussion, but he was kind of out last week.
Yep. I mean, I'll take Dave in this matchup, but I wouldn't be surprised if an upset here.
But I'd like to know who Dave is starting at his third wide receiver spot. Antonio Brown. I don't know if he has enough experience this week with that offense.
Yep.
So it's a bit of a risk right now.
I hope Dave is able to change something because Brandon Ayuk, I don't think, is playing tonight.
That's a good point.
I didn't see the reports. I didn't look at the inactive list, but as of yesterday, he was on the COVID list. So if Brandon Ayuk doesn't play, that might be a little freebie.
Yeah, I don't know on the status of Fuller and Hilton, but I personally would have been starting those over Ayuk and Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I mean it'll be an interesting matchup, but we can't argue with Dave. He's 8-0 this year.
He's got the magic.
Yep. All right, let's look down at the Wii League here. We've got Dan against Brian. Brian didn't pull it off last week. He's now 1-7. I think his chances of making the playoffs are pretty much gone at this point. Let's look at this matchup. I think Dan wins this. I think Dan wins this handily. But Brian, I hope you can pull something out.
I'm hoping for Brian. Got to always pull for B.
I mean, his team's not bad. It's just I think he's one of those that always plays against somebody who scores more points. That's how you end up losing.
The silver lining here, Dan's running out Justin Jackson. I don't trust Justin Jackson or any running back in that backfield.
Yeah, but I'll take Dan in this matchup. Then we have Mark against Caleb here. I mean, Mark's been fun to watch in the Wii League. It's going to be fun to see who moves up next year and who gets relegated and who takes what. But Mark's got Deshaun Watson and Caleb's going with Josh Allen. I mean, this is an interesting quarterback matchup.
It depends on what Seattle's defense shows up this week. Jacksonville hasn't been as good as they could have been. And Seattle's just been spotty. So you have Josh Allen the added edge this week.
Yep. I'll take Mark in this matchup though, only because Tyreek Hill, he loves it. He's playing at home. He always seems to score better at home. And Carolina, I don't think can cover him. I like Tyreek Hill to have a huge breakout week this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be done by one position alone. Kamara's got a hard week going against Tampa. Tampa's a good defense.
Yep.
Antonio Gibson against the Giants. Depends on who really is out there playing football. Yeah, I would tend to agree with you on the overall of this, though.
Yep. Then we have Jeremy with Fantasy Journeyman and Russell Sprouts. This matchup right here, I was talking with Micah. This matchup could determine the trade between these two for Russell Wilson and Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
It could. This would be. It's really interesting just to see. I mean, Jeremy knows football. He knows numbers. He's very good with the analytic.
Yep.
I'm gotta go with Micah. So I mean,
Yep. I mean, from that trade, Micah has to start Russell Wilson and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Jeremy doesn't even have to start Matt Ryan or Zeke. I mean, that's the amazing part about this. Justin Herbert, Dalvin Cook, Josh Jacobs, Keenan Allen. I mean, where does this stop? Maybe Evan Ingram. Hawkinson has maybe a little bit of a advantage over Ingram. I think I'm going to take Jeremy this week, but I wouldn't be surprised in an upset.
I'm going to go with Micah on the volume from Devonta Adams' workload and the TJ Hawkinson against Minnesota. I don't think Minnesota. They beat the Packers. They're not that good.
Yeah.
They truly had a good week last week, but I think even with a backup quarterback, TJ Hawkinson is going to be a nice little security blanket.
Yeah. And then Lamar the Merrier, Nate versus Stephanie with Team Baldwin. It seems like every year Stephanie's always in the mix, doing well, and then come playoff time, it's always never can get over the hump. And Nate wants to get back up.
Nate's putting together a good team. He's got Derrick Henry. I know Chicago's playing well, but it's Derrick Henry.
Yep.
It's also James Robinson, who's back off a bye. I don't trust DJ Chark so much, but DeAndre Hopkins, Allen Robinson has been spectacular this year. Jared Cook's good for a few catches. Stephanie's got the better tight end.
Oh, absolutely. Travis Kelce, you can't go wrong. I mean, Stephanie's missing a kicker here. I'm sure she'll change it before Sunday. The one player that we didn't talk about when we were going through the bigs was DJ Chark. I know you don't love DJ Chark, but Houston's defense can't stop anybody. It's a backup quarterback.
It's going to be how many reps did he get this week? Did he get enough confidence in the offense? I think that's my big issue with any Jacksonville player besides a running back, because the running backs are guaranteed the touches just about, and
Yep.
they get their checkdowns for the most part.
Yep.
But it's the wide receiver game, the tight end game. How can a second string quarterback? That's why I would be leery of anybody with Detroit this week. I
Yeah.
mean, TJ Hawkinson is a good safety blanket. However, it's just there's a lot of I give a lot of caution to it.
Yep.
But
And
DJ Chark and
it
Keenan
looks
Cole are both good talents.
it looks like Kenny Galladay is going to be out this week in Detroit too. So there's going to be extra coverage in the box against Hawkinson. But we're not football analysts. We're fantasy football nerds that just love talking fantasy football. Nick, is there anything that you can think of that you would want to say as we finish out this week?
Uh, it's it's not overly crowded at the top.
It's not.
I mean, you got Dave, of course.
Yep.
I'm up there, and so is Matt, but that's three.
Yeah, there's three. I think there's three locks right now for the playoffs. You, Dave, and Matt, and then everything underneath. If you're sitting at 5-3 down to 3-5, you're looking great for that eighth spot. I mean, there's not much points. I mean, Jeffrey has, I think, the second most points in the league and is sitting at 3-5. So if he gets on a roll, he really could take off and climb the ladder. We've got what, five weeks left, week 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 5 weeks left of the regular season. This is where playoff pushes are made. And
Yeah,
so
you
as
got to
we,
keep your head down to the waiver wire. You got to. I don't know exactly what week is the trade cutoff, but
I think it's next, isn't it next week, week 10, week
I
11?
think you're right. But pay
It's
attention
somewhere
to
in
the
there.
waivers.
Yep.
Make smart moves. If you're trying to push, don't worry about necessarily a keeper. More worry about how are you going to survive, because you don't always have the guy that you might want to keep really might not be a keeper next year. I've made that mistake before. Bit me in the last year really bad. Coming from winning a few years in a row to completely drop out of playoff position altogether because my team was I reached. So
Yep.
don't reach on a player that
Yep.
you might not keep next year. Just do what you're supposed to do to try to stay alive.
Yeah. I mean, this week is the week. I mean, I guess maybe you could say uh, last week, this week, and next week, you know, how in golf tournaments they say Saturday's moving day. These 3 weeks could be moving weeks for everybody. Nick, I always look forward to Thursday nights. I hope everybody enjoys watching this. And this was a good break from the chaos that's happening all around us. I'm looking forward to football on Sunday. I know you are. Nick, good luck this week, and we'll see you next week as we come back for the Rush Report.
Alrighty.